Hi everyone, this is the Ask Annie podcast, Horse Girl reviews on products you use. Tired of searching multiple websites for equestrian products and services? Wish you could browse horses for sale after ordering monthly supplements? Equivont.com was created to help bridge the gap between riders and equestrian businesses. Equivont partners with the best equestrian businesses to bring you quality products, great horses, and reputable service providers all in one online place. Equivont provides information on horses for sale or lease, grooming products, supplements, riding apparel, trainers, clinics, tack, vets, trailers, business services, just to name a few. They really do have everything you need for you and your horse. Discover, shop, ride. Visit equivont.com. That's equivont.com. Thank you for joining us today, Jessica. Can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and how horses are a part of your life?
Hey, Annie, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Horses, I would say my life actually revolves around horses. Everything that I do day to day, if it's not riding a horse, it's talking about horses. I've grown up riding since I was probably 6. I started consistently riding and started off doing jumpers. My mom noticed that there was something different and she knows nothing about horses. And she's like, I think you need to do this dressage stuff because your horse doesn't look that good. And kind of forced me to do dressage. Went hardcore into dressage, always worked for Hunter Jumper Barns. And then just about 6 or 7 years ago, I realized that I could do both in eventing. So that's where I'm very focused on now, is eventing horses. And my office is in the barn. Speaking of my life revolving around horses. So if you hear goats in the background, that's because the horses are in the barn.
And you are one of the founders of Equivont. Can you take us through why and how you started this company?
Yeah. So a few years ago, I was in a position where I was going to move my horse across the country. And it wasn't really like a very horsey, densely populated area, but I'd still asked everyone in my network, like where I should board my horse, who I should train with, all of those details. And for the first time in my life, no one had any recommendations of where I should keep my horse or who I should ride with. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. I'll just hop online. And I went to look online and all I found were these directories that looked like they were made when the internet came out and hadn't been updated since. And I was sitting there scratching my head like, I spend more money on my horse than literally anything else in my life. How can I not find like quality services or, recommendations or anything like that? It really just made me realize how word of mouth the horse industry still is and hasn't quite caught up with the way we search for any other service in our lives. So I partnered up with my riding buddy, Jacqueline Dunt. We met actually riding horses. She was an assistant trainer at a barn that my horse was at, and we just clicked immediately. And we had worked together at a non-horse job in a past life in a marketing software company. And we knew we worked really well together. And when I explained, what had happened with me trying to move and, how there's a need, we really just, put our heads together and were able to come up with the idea for Equivont. So I really have to say anything that looks pretty on the site is due to Jackie. If it was up to me, there would be stick figures all over the website. So we make a really good team. I will say that.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely seem to even each other out, which is very helpful in a business partner.
Absolutely. I'm very thankful for her.
And what need does Equivont fill for equestrians? You mentioned your experience, but what has it become?
So what another piece, and what a lot of people have mentioned to us as well, is that everything in the equestrian industry, if it is online, it's very disjointed. You shop for horses here, you buy your supplements here, you get your apparel here. And so you're always trying to remember what website you're trying to buy stuff for your horse. And like I said, on the service side, maybe your farrier refuses to show up, or, you're not clicking with your trainer and you need another recommendation outside of your network. We're really trying, our goal is to make it easy for equestrians to find whatever it is they need for them or their horse in one place.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that you mentioned networking because the industry is so small, but sometimes it's hard to branch out of your little circle that you might have. So that networking is crucial, and I totally appreciate that as a horse person.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more.
What is the foundation of Equivont, and what can horse owners expect when they use the service?
So what horse owners can expect is, I like to say that it's kind of like Google and Amazon made a baby just for horse people. So you can check out, similar to Amazon, you can find everything, add to your cart, you can get supplements and apparel and stable supplies all in one spot while reaching out to someone about a horse that you're interested in and finding a new trainer to ride with, all in one place. So our goal is really to simplify the process of caring for horse and rider online.
Awesome. What is your typical day like as the founder? What is your role now?
So I'm very focused on the sales side, as it relates to businesses. So growing the amount of customers that advertise on our site is my main focus. We do have a few other ladies on the team as well that are focused on sales. Basically, I explained it in the beginning that Jackie, I'm focused on bringing in the money, and Jackie's focused on spending the money on the marketing side. So it works out well on that front.
That's perfect. Well, and that's a perfect segue into my next question. There are two types of services on Equivont, one for businesses and one for shoppers. Why was creating both of these so important?
Well, we don't have products of our own. We don't carry inventory. We're solely on a drop ship model. So with that, we truly are an advertising platform, that makes it easy for businesses to be found by equestrians and makes it easy for equestrians to find the businesses that they're looking for. So the two really go hand in hand. We have to have something to promote. So there are shoppers, and there's always a delicate balance of making sure we've got the right amount of customers or shoppers for the businesses that are advertising, and vice versa. Because if there are only two products on the site, there aren't going to be very many shoppers. And if there are a bunch of businesses and no shoppers, then that doesn't work for anyone either.
Yeah, it's a very, very even thing that you have to manage, I'm sure.
Exactly. Yep. Absolutely. So, and that's really how the sales versus marketing teams are divided. Acquiring new businesses is on my side, on the sales side, and the marketing is drawing in the shoppers. So the businesses are happy to advertise on the site.
Yeah, definitely working hand in hand. I love it. So if a person is new and coming to Equivont, how do they utilize it?
So there are a few different ways. There's plenty of places to actually type in a search. It's right there, very obvious on the front where you can search. If you keep scrolling, we're going to give you ideas to search for as well. So we've got different categories. The site is really broken into three areas: products, services, horses for sale. And with that, people can, scroll through specific categories and then drill down, within products, we've got products for horse, products for rider. And then if you keep scrolling down, you'll find just example, listings of individual products and or services across the homepage, which then can take you down a rabbit hole.
I love it. Is there a cost for equestrians to shop on Equivont?
There's not. Nope. It's free for any shopper to go on Equivont and browse.
That's awesome. What type of products and services are offered on Equivont? You mentioned those three categories, but how wide does it spread?
So products, it's actually kind of cool. When we first started, we were trying to, we're like, okay, we're thinking of the daily stuff that we use. We're using grooming supplies, apparel, tack, equipment, all of those things that are in the day-to-day. And as we went down this path, we were going to a bunch of horse shows and started meeting equestrians in all different sectors. Someone's like, well, I'm an equestrian lawyer. I was like, That's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. So it's really opened up the doors for all types of businesses in the equestrian industry, from business services like a lawyer, marketing services, down to people who will help you like manage your barn and your bookkeeping. And then on the services side as well, we've got vets, farriers, trainers obviously is a big one. So it's really flexible as far as like what areas of the business that specific businesses want to highlight. But we don't really have like too many rules as far as your business is not so obscure or so odd that we can definitely find a place for it on the site. And then on the product side, we have your day-to-day things, supplements, stable supplies, tack, equipment, apparel, socks. That's my big thing. Making sure you got socks for your horses, fly masks, halters. We really are focused on making sure that we've got, the whole kit and caboodle to take care of the horse and the rider.
Yeah, that's awesome. So one thing I saw on the site too was the map of equestrian businesses, and I thought that was such a unique function. How do business owners get on this map, and why is it beneficial to them and equestrians?
Great question. Yeah. So any business that's advertising on Equivont is automatically added to the map. So if you are going on a road trip with your horse, traveling far for a horse show, or you're moving, you can really kind of zoom in on the map and see who is available in that area, which I think the services is really the biggest piece. Because lots of us go to horse shows all over the country, and it makes it a little easier to find a layover spot, or if you're moving, you can find a new barn to locate to. I love the map as well.
Yeah, and really tying it all back together into why you started the company, because people are moving all the time and don't necessarily know what's out there in their new area. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Is there anything from Equivont that listeners should keep an eye out for? Anything new that's upcoming or exciting?
So originally, when we first started off, we were going to a lot of horse shows and really focusing on being vendors at horse shows, which we also invite all of our businesses to participate in as well. So we kind of end up being a little pop-up tack shop, which is really fun because the business owners or employees of the business are welcome to come participate with us. We end up making it a little party. And now we have actually shifted to hosting our own events in areas across the country. So really honing in on the shopping aspect. Of course, there's alcohol or other beverages to make it more of like a community event. So we just had a tack swap last weekend, which we invite people from the community, whether they're a business or not, to come clean out their tack room and swap things, trade things, etc. And as well as the businesses will be able to promote their items as well. So we had a great success. We've done 2 this year so far, and we've got 2 more planned. And really just making those as more of a fun event for people to come after they ride on a Saturday and have a little bonding time with their fellow equestrians.
Yeah, that's really cool. Really building the community too. I really like
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Where are these types of meetups? Are they all over the country?
Yeah, so the first one was actually up where Jackie is in Reno, Nevada. So one of the barns that we're partnered with hosted, which was amazing. The one this past weekend was actually in Laguna Hills, California. We've done them in San Ynez. We're actually working with American Stalls to bring them to Virginia. And we're always looking for, if businesses want to host, we're always happy to, promote it and bring the party, I guess you could say. So yes, those are, right now we're focused on California and Reno, but we are definitely looking at expanding them in other places of the country as well.
Oh, that's really exciting. That sounds like really great growth. I look forward to seeing them.
Thanks. I'm excited too.
Thanks for tuning in. Learn more about the Ask Annie podcast by following us on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest at Ask Annie Podcast. Have a suggestion for a product you'd like me to use in an upcoming episode? Email me at askanniepodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on any of our social media pages. Find even more Ask Annie episodes anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many more. The Ask Annie podcast is a production of Equine Podcast Network, an entity of Equine Network, LLC.